Okay, you guys gave me a bunch of videos to react to, so I compiled them from the Discord. If you guys want to give me suggestions, join the Discord. I'd be happy to take a look at what you have to send me. We have, let me just resize my camera one sec. We have a Gramps here on the screen, looking pretty good with a hammer. That's going to be me in 40 years. Nice vid.
Day one looks max.
Day one looks maxing. Let's see what's happening. So he's clearly very young. He's better off playing Minecraft till he finds out, his failures as he gets older. Of course, he's eating good food. Probably he's in a rural area, just I can tell from the background. Good jaw development, good bones. Bit high in body fat percentage, but he is young, so. Okay. It's just something that I'm noticing with people in these rural areas. I don't know what it is. Nothing against the guy, but when they apply skincare or water, they do it really aggressive, and I think they're just doing it to make up for the fact that it's kind of like a feminine act to do skincare or whatever. So you end up with this, which is kind of counterintuitive considering that you're probably damaging your skin by doing that. But anyways, he uses a cleanser. His routine, washes it off, nice, brushes his hair back, licks his lip like that, okay. That's toner. He's putting it on his neck only. I have no idea why he's doing that unless he's shaving, but no. And on his elbow creases. Why I don't know why he's doing that. Unless I'm wrong, but that looked like toner. And then he's got some, I don't know what that is. Lotion? Yeah, lotion. So I hope he's not working on his jaw, because you can look at his hyoid, his neck area. It's very tight. It's very nice. It's looking great. So why would he be doing jaw training? No, he's doing jaw training. Okay. So he's training his jaw like in every single one of these looks maxing videos, where that's obviously not the issue. His issue is definitely not his jaw. Rather, it's down here. But he is young, as I mentioned, so he's probably just doing this for content. I hope so. Obviously, he's been misled. And then I don't know what he's doing there, like 3 sets of whatever the hell that is. Okay. Yeah, so facial massages, we've debunked that in my recent video with Clav. If you guys haven't watched that, give it a go. That one bro who's never had a girlfriend. And of course, it's David Lade. So this is like a famous relatable thing you'll see a lot of times on social media, where people are like overhyping their friend. They think that their friend is like deserving of girls and he's single for some reason. The universe made him single, but in reality, either he's really young or he's like just something's wrong with his brain, right? He's very high in Hib, or very much likely the chance he's just not appealing, and you think that he's appealing because he has really good grades, he's a nice guy, he has a lined up beard, he's muscular, but those are all traits that girls could care less about. So in reality, your friend is chopped, but you think he's not because of male gaze. You look at him and you think, wow, he deserves a great girl. But sadly, the world doesn't work that way. And as a result, you have this meme that's very much relatable, and you'll find me sending this to my friend. David Lade isn't David Lade because of his physique. He's David Lade because of his face and his ability to, properly use social media.
During a live stream, this woman revealed her face for the first time and lost her viewers. Usually, she wore a mask while streaming.
Okay, so obviously she has a great eye area, great eyebrows. What about the lower third, right? That's what makes up most of the face.
But her
She's wearing that mask for a reason, and she knows.
fans kept asking her to take it off.
I'm really ugly when I take off my mask. I'll take it off.
She was afraid to show her face.
So a common thing you'll see with streamers, especially when they're girls, they usually lack personality. And I don't mean this to come after girls whatsoever. I'm just talking about the top streamers, right? It's a trend. If she does show her face and she doesn't look the part, she's going to lose her career.
But she couldn't ignore the repeated requests from her fans. So finally, she decided to do her first ever face reveal during the stream.
So clearly lacking in her lower third, and as a result...
But the chat went silent when she took off her mask.
Oh, that's actually surprising. I thought she was gonna get hate.
Then, the viewers started leaving rapidly.
Her career is gone. It's finished.
みんなが見たいって言ったんだよ。みんなが見たいって言ったんだよ、これ。ねえ、みんなが見たいって言ったの。だからお前らって嫌いなの。クソが。
You knew.
The stream
Now we have Brando and his little tweet. I need a woman's company tonight. The interesting thing here is you would never see his looks match or a girl of his caliber posting something like this. And if you did, it would be like once in a blue moon in your life. Never come across something like that. And if you did, actually, she would have someone by that very night. This guy's getting nothing for the rest of his life, unless he pays for it down the block. We have Dylan in the corner, Cookie King, of course, being manhandled. And Cookie King is a great example of why looks maxing is actually effective. He has the cards that he's been dealt, and you really have to fuck up badly not to play those cards right. But I don't blame him. He's in the West, and he's gone through a lot of stuff in his life. You know, I talked to him. He's a great guy. But if he easily locked in, he could easily ascend and put these people in their places. You know, he's going to perform and have a way better quality of life in comparison to everyone in this frame, just by his genetics. But instead you have this. Your girl is loyal until she sees him. Yeah, a lot of people make fun of Cookie, but in reality, this guy does have appeal to him, and I think he can still pull with where he's at, but he can do way better, and I've been trying to help him out myself, so. Ooh. I need to make a video about Frame. We got Sarah dancing again. So the thing about Frame is it's not so important that it's better than height or face. It comes in third place. It's just something that can break you. It can hurt your overall appeal if it's really bad. And it's hard not to have the average Frame, right? Like, this is far more rare than being Chad. I don't even know what that guy's on. The guy on the bottom left as well. That's like really rare to... I feel like these are Photoshop, but anyways, so it's very hard for you to have a frame that's horrible. You can also mask it with muscles and obviously the way you style yourself and shoulder pads. Get into it, but so it's not that big of a trick. Frame is and will always be law. I disagree. I think that it's not law. I think that it plays a big role, but not as big of a role as you think. And this was posted by Short Cell, who's probably short and coping with his frame, but it's not law. Oh, she's a little bit taller. Maybe she's on her tippy toes, but there's 1,049 comments. I don't want to see what they look like. Oh my god. Please no, no, never. What the hell? No, no, no. No, never again. Notice how she said again. She definitely got played by someone her height or shorter, and now it's tainted the rest of the guys. The thing about girls is they'd rather have their heart broken by someone who's far more desirable. It's just an ego thing. So if she's gonna get played, she'd rather get played by the tall guy, not the short guy. And that's why she's saying again.
If you're not very, very tall, you should die.
If you're not very, very tall, what does very, very tall mean? That's probably like 6'4", right? Mind you, 15% of men are 6 foot and taller. So she's telling 98% of men to just die. Obviously, that's atoning to her preference. Girls are allowed to have this preference, nothing against her. It's just the way you say it, of course, but yeah, it just really gives you a reality check here. Another video by Short Cell again.
5'8" is too short. I'm 5'4", so 5'8", it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know, you like my little sister. You like my little sister, my little cousin.
Ladies and gentlemen, even a 4-inch difference isn't enough in this day and age. No, I'm just kidding. It's not over for you if you're 5'8". We did cover this in the MOG chart. It just means your facial requirements are much higher, so good luck trying to get there. Now we have this guy frauding by going on his tippy toes. I mean, to be fair, she's wearing heels, but can't count that.
It'd be worse if I went like,
She's Asian too, which is crazy because usually they're shorter, but This guy's username is I wish I was 6'4". You know, usernames on TikTok can really tell you a lot about a person.
Why is it okay for women to say, oh, your 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead? That's okay?
Yeah, I don't blame him for raging this way. I really don't. People are like, why do short guys have this rage to them? This is why. This is why we're seeing it first.
Now I am able to fully dedicate.
I was expelled from university for looks maxing. Serious. Indeed, it is serious, but it wasn't for looks maxing. It was for having roids in his dorm. So don't let that scare you. But yeah, Collab really has invested whatever time he has left into looks maxing.
My time to looks maxing, so I think this is going to wind up being a blessing.
He's like our guinea pig in the community. You know, he's on the bone smashing, which is debatable. You know, we go back and forth on that. The PDO threading, if you don't know what that is, it's like you know, usually you get it done by like a clinic or like a doctor, but he's doing it at home. You know, DIY, obviously saving money. But it just pulls your skin, right? I think he's trying to like raise his canthal tilt here. I'm not sure. Again, more PDO threads for like hunter eyes or whatever. They don't work, by the way. Very temporary results. And then that's lemon bottle. Everyone thought he was pulling fat out of his face. No, it's just lemon bottle he was actually injecting into his cheek. So it's a fat dissolver. And they usually use it on other body parts, but it doesn't really work for the cheeks. So that method doesn't work right there. He's really just debunking everything for us. And that's Botox right there. And his nose, I think it's for like the nose flaring. I don't know. He definitely ascended though. Softness and it's definitely not something that. Definitely ascended.
I was a high school dropout. I also got kicked out of 17 schools
I already know where this is going.
in total, but I never let school get in the way of my education. I don't believe in school. I was an F student, and I've told this before, F students are the creators of the world.
I agree. I don't believe in school either.
A students are my #1 employees. B are my managers. The C, those are the ones
Those are the ones.
that are on the verge of becoming a business owner to being a manager, and then you have the
Then you have the D.
those are
Those are the business owners.
business owners, and then you have the F. The F are the ones
They're the ones that are going to shape the future.
that create
Like Elon Musk, the guy who dropped out of Harvard, right? Wow, what a great example.
new inventions for the world.
Yeah, it's just cope for everyone that gets bad grades in school, and this guy's clearly trying to farm them. Getting Fs is crazy. If you can't float in school or do well, it's likely that you're not going to do well in anything else. Oh, this edit takes you back to 2023. $1 million. That was my cologne when I was like 17. Great scent. It's very fruity though, and it doesn't last too long, but it's amazing if you apply it right before seeing someone. Another edit. It's just Leo. Oh, I know where this is going. H-pill. H-pill. It's the H-pill. So, Leonardo DiCaprio obviously got the best of the H-pill, but I'll tell you this, you know, it's not over. Brad Pitt held himself up pretty well with time, but genetics do play a role and your lifestyle habits. But obviously Leo, he's status maxed, money maxed. I don't blame him. Cute So, we made a video on this, right? They don't age too well. Great chap though, I love it. Let's go back. Ugh, we have 0 good pics of us. I wonder why. I think their looks matched for the most part. And that's the photo they came up with. Obviously, we got a better angle of her here. Honey, is he bothering you? She carried hard. The girl low-key carried. Notice how it's all girls commenting though? Just a view, she's everything and he's just there. She's really not. I mean, girls oftentimes hype up. It's just something about girls, and it's nothing against them, but they often do this. They will hype up another girl to make themselves feel better. You know, if I call this girl pretty, I'm going to be prettier. I'm going to be perceived prettier. It's just like something, I don't even know. It's just something in their nature. It's like a way of coping, you know. We have the gym, they have this.
Okay, you need to pay attention because this is crazy. Looks maxing is a CIA operation, and you are being.
Why is his voice like that? It's not synced up.
Okay, so we all know where looks maxing originated from. It originated from forums like 4chan.
I didn't even know that. Okay, I've known that looks maxing has been around for a long time, but I don't think anyone knows about it originating from there. I really don't. It's been so like mainstream or whatever. Okay.
And recently 4chan has been busted, and half of the 4chan moderators were actually working with the government.
Was apparently some of the emails that were leaked, according to the Jannies, the moderators.
Of course, this guy knows.
Belong to .gov accounts. Now, .gov obviously belongs to the government.
So what this means is the government had a lot of influence over looks maxing forums on 4chan. They used your insecurities to make you like men. This sounds crazy to you? Look at the example Shami and Clavicular are setting for you guys.
Yeah, that's Clavicular's hand.
Kiss me with your eyes closed. Whisper that your heart.
Please, I was gonna make a joke and tell the editor to cut it out, but I'm the one who edits my own videos, so. Hi, I'm finding a girlfriend at least older than 17. Boy plays gacha games. Wait, why did I breeze over that? He said boy. Now it makes sense, okay? I was about to attack him for making a post like this because you'd have to be like really chopped or just like an absolute weirdo to be requesting for a girlfriend, but the fact that he's asking for a boy is a whole lot more reasonable, right? We have a lot of people switching teams because of the dating market.
Someone DM him. Testosterone, that's a great thing. I can tell you, mitigate your EMF exposure, mitigate your blue light exposure. Start doing exercises, they're gonna help. Like
yeah, that's what Chad does, right?
Sprints, start squatting more. You also have to tap into certain supplements.
Imagine doing all that just to not have appeal.
Tonpak Ali is fantastic. I think Shulita is fantastic.
Oh my god.
I think Pine Pollen is fantastic. Drinking raw milk, raw
honey.
Raw honey.
Raw honey.
What the hell is happening? What are you guys sending me? Oh, cat. I love cats, by the way. Way better than dogs. They're cleaner, they're cuter, they just mog. Look at that forward growth. Cantle tilt, everything. So cute. He said, will some be my girlfriend? One. Like, how did the someone and the one end up all the way on the other side? You know what I mean? I need a loyal boyfriend, age no matter. Goes both ways, guys. Boy number 1, smart, funny, loyal, kind, caring, sporty, Jim's affectionate, romantic, 5'11". Describing me right to the T. And boy number 2 is above 6 foot. So the only thing going for boy number 1 is that he's sporty and he gyms, right? All that other stuff is a bunch of hocus pocus, just stuffing. And being 5'11", he's in the invisible range. We went over this in the mock chart. Now, boy number 2 is above 6 foot. So basically a muscular 5'11" guy versus a tall 6 foot guy. Girls are likely going to say on paper that they prefer boy number 2, but it really comes down to their faces. We mentioned this a lot in my previous videos. When a girl pictures a guy that's 6 foot, in reality, she's picturing him with a halo effect, right? She's going to mask him with positive traits. It's kind of hard for a girl to picture a guy who's above 6 foot and chopped, unless you tell them to specifically. But so boy number 1 still has a really good chance here. Babies prefer looking at attractive faces. Studies show that they are drawn to symmetrical features. That's crazy. Even babies have an eye for this. And what's funny is, you know, they'll reject this philosophy. They'll say that we're toxic for thinking this way. But the most redundant, the most like mundane YouTube channels, like those videos that you see where there's like a spectrum and it's a bunch of animations and different like facts, like this kind of style, they're even putting this philosophy in there and they're shying it away. I mean, it's funny.
That guy's an OTN. That guy's an OTN. That guy's an OTN. That guy's an OTN. And lastly, that one's a HTN, but he's short.
HTN sounds weird. Just say hi to Normie at that point. But if you guys don't know, this is Wheat Waffles. He posts on YouTube, similar to what I'm doing. I don't know if he's a bit more extreme, but I don't watch his videos. I just seen his most recent video. Apparently he quit for the second time. Now, the funny thing about it is he quit because of numerous reasons. You know, he wasn't making that much money from it, which is weird because, you know, he has a platform, he can easily monetize it with whatever way, but props to him. So the Sweet Waffles guy goes on to say that, you know, he quit because it was hindering his dating life, right? Girls were judging him based off his content, and his community was harassing the girls, which I understand that part, but for the most part, I mean, I post the same amount of content, I post the same content, and when I meet girls and people for the first time, yeah, it kind of throws them back a little bit. They think I'm shallow, but there's a certain way of going about it where you make them understand that that's not you and that's like your niche. But at the same time, it really comes down to how attracted they are to you, because if a girl really likes you, she won't care about all this stuff. She won't care about what you're posting. They will tolerate a lot. So this shouldn't be a make or break for a girl, and if it is, then she doesn't really like you.
Maybe for you there's a tomorrow. Maybe for you there's 1,000 or 3,000 or 10.
When you're laughing and you realize you probably look ugly, so you hit this move. Yeah, that's a good one. When you just want to be loved, but you have to think about your appearance every day. And you have to watch my videos. Don't forget about that. Keep that in your routine. So that's why you should subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification button, because I'm trying to do daily uploads, but it's very hard. And if you go to the description, there's a first link there. If you tap that, you can join my SMS list for my supplement. I'm dropping a debloating powder. It's going to be an amazing formula. So you can get a tub before anyone else, before I sell out, of course. And join the Discord if you haven't already. It's in the description. It's a lovely community. And you can help me out with my YouTube videos and also give me more reactionary videos, of course. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye, guys. Bye.